server appears to Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Obvious Captains. I'm so excited that you're here with us today. I'm Red, and this is my partner Andy. Andy, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Better than last time. Everyone is feeling better now in the household. So I even noticed, man. Like I looked at looking at the old footage from last episode. I was like super puffy. That's why I shaved. I was like, I got to get that.
Yeah, unfortunately, viewers, we are recording on an off day, which I guess you wouldn't know otherwise if we didn't say that.
It's not an off day. It's an on day.
Well, it's an on day now. Today, it's an on day, but yeah, no. Normally, today is not a day we usually record, but you know, we wanted to kind of meet up and say hi to each other and you know say hi to you guys as well. If you didn't tune into our previous episode, Andy's your kids both got sick, right? And your wife, it was like the whole house, everyone was sick. Horrible. And this was like in April, so springtime. You guys can imagine, humid, wet, cold, whatever, you know, flu season. So yeah, man. Glad you're okay. Glad you're feeling better, man. Yeah. So welcome to the show, guys. This is another episode. We're trying to get as many in there with fun conversation for you guys. So Andy came up with an incredible idea that I really love, and I think you guys are going to love it as well.
Yeah, so it's going to be a segment where at least as far as I'm concerned, I think we should be able to incorporate any sort of reel, as long as it's, you know, somewhat family friendly. I'm sure there might be a swear word here and there, but it's the idea is to have fun and just see what's out there. And the cool part about it is we're going to try our best to present things to each other that we haven't seen. This is our new segment called Keeping It Real.
Here we go. Reel number 1. And remember, I have not seen these. We have not prepared for this.
Sorry. We met.
What? Oh, this guy.
Did you see it? He's covering up the F word over there.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. Good one. Good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, man.
Hopefully none of the comments are, but that's a good one. Very good one. Yeah. You guys all know Andrew Schultz, but listen to this. This was new information for me that I didn't know. And he's speaking with Andrew Bustamante, who is an ex-CIA operator, I guess. Let's see what he's got to say.
Trump steps in. He chooses not to use CIA for his intelligence.
Right.
He openly says that?
Correct.
And then who does he use?
He hires commercial intelligence.
Wow.
Private intelligence is a successful business model because private intelligence can do things that national security governance can't do.
For example?
The war on drugs. There's a huge cost that comes with all the administrative stuff of getting the government to do something. You got to send troops. You got to get orders approved. In the commercial sector, you basically write them a check for $2 million and say, hey, we need secrets about cocaine drug lords. And then the company, maybe they hire 5 former SEALs, 2 former Colombian special forces, former Mossad, does whatever they need to do to get those secrets. So maybe they do good things, maybe they do bad things, but they definitely deliver secrets. Donald Trump knew that and took advantage of that. He essentially showed in 4 years that CIA was powerful, but can be replaced by private intelligence.
Wow.
Yeah, it's super interesting. Good perspective on all the red tape that you got to cut to get something done. And it makes sense why you have people like Erik Prince and other security companies that go out there and find go through uncover people's dirty laundry, or
yeah,
I'm gonna be the king of screwing up sayings in the show. You're gonna come back in like 10 years, and there's gonna be like a reel of me and all the things I say incorrectly. But it's you're
gonna be that guy that's like, well, you know what they say: if the bird doesn't fly, the tree won't stand.
Yes,
and you're like,
exactly.
What? I've never heard that. What are you talking about? That's not even a saying.
If the boat doesn't fit, don't turn it on. Quit. Yes. Like, what?
The boat doesn't fit. You know what OJ said? The boat doesn't fit.
That's right.
Dude, so when I was living in Dubai, man, I either, and I don't want to like even like misremember this, but I either applied for a job at it was called R2. Erik Prince had left the United States because he was having some issues with some kind of issues with government or something to do with Blackwater. They were investigating Blackwater for some stuff. I don't know if you remember that back in like 2012, maybe 2015. And so Erik Prince, owner of Blackwater mercenary group, relocated to Abu Dhabi and renamed the company like R2 or something like that at the time. Mm-hmm. And I remember, like, he's still a hero of mine. I don't know if I'll ever have a chance to meet him or, you know, whatever, but huge hero of mine, man. Because the guy's like a no nonsense, and you've probably seen a lot of his content as well. And but yeah, man, I went on their website to look at careers because I was there, and I was like, dude, that would be amazing. Even if I can get in some silly job, man. Can you imagine? Like, who do you work for? Oh, I can't tell you. I'd have to kill you. You know.
Like, what do you do there, man?
Yeah, I would have literally, and people are not going to believe this when they hear this, but I would have probably cleaned toilets if that's the only job that was available. If that's what it took to get in on the ground level at
it's like,
Blackwater.
Look, Red, we want you to clean toilets because we have a special mission for you one day.
Oh Lord!
Where you have to be the best. You know, you're going to be a maintenance worker, so we're going to insert you into this situation.
There you go.
And they're not going to believe you.
There you go.
They're not going to believe you if you really can't scrub a toilet.
If I go in there and I'm like, oh, what is this? Oh.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, okay, that guy's not
legit, man.
Yeah. But yeah, man.
That was a good one.
Like we said, today is an off day for us. We don't normally record on this day, but, you know, we both have really busy lives, and we just really wanted to get some more stuff out to you guys. So, yeah, we're kind of just chit-chatting tonight. What's on your mind, my friend? What is plaguing what keeps you up at night right now? And it doesn't have to be political. It could be anything, man. It could be, you know, inflation. It could be, I don't know that people lose sleep over inflation, but you know.
Surprisingly, it's kind of, for the longest time I've been, kind of the person that really almost rejoices with a rain cloud over my head. So it was always easy for me to be blue and to almost love that kind of life. And I guess what I'm getting at is these days, over the last few years, I've just slowly it sounds weird, but I've slowly started to find peace even in times of things that are going crazy. And life is always crazy. So while I have problems just like everyone else, there's like a certain amount of solace that I have. Is that the right word? There's like a peace just with
let's look it up. Solace is like a tranquility, isn't it? Or we're looking stuff up on the dictionary.
Dictionary, reddictionary.com.
Oh. Yeah, comfort, consolation, help, support. Yeah, solace. Mm-hmm. I always thought solace. Solace is like when I always use that word when you're finally at peace. Like let's say somebody passed away, and you've been hurt for a long time. Like when my grandparents passed away, man. They didn't pass away together, but at separate times. But yes, that's when the word that's. Like you find that tranquility, that peace, like, I'm finally okay with. I finally made my peace with this event or with this, you know. So yeah, no, that's good, man. What do you think is attributing to that feeling? Is it a better quality of life? Is it, you relocated a few years back, bought a place, with your family, which is amazing, man. Congrats for that. The American dream.
Yeah.
You're just missing the white picket fence, dude.
Yeah, they won't let us have a fence in our area.
Really? It's like a thing, like a municipal thing?
Covenants, yeah, like within the certain area, because we live in a pretty rural area, and when you buy property here, there's certain things that you have to sign that you're not allowed to do, and that is fence or I have a little bit of land, so I can't build out on my property unless it's part of the house. So, yeah.
So you can't build like a guest house for me when I come down to, like a luxurious.
I could, but it has to be a part of the house. So it's like there's these weird things.
That is very odd. So it can't be like a standalone building, or like you can't build, like, let's say if you wanted to do like a studio or the barn or something like that.
Well, yeah, it couldn't be in the, like, so all the houses have land, and you're not supposed to build in the middle of it. I think the people that purchased and bought this area wanted this area to be very open and expansive, which is part of the allure. Nice. Yeah. Allure, yeah, we love that. Not everyone follows the rules, though. But yeah, no white picket fence. I guess I'd have to attribute it to is just my faith and just getting older, and which is you would hope that getting older would be that kind of result for everyone. When you get older, you start to come to grips with death and things like that. But
I hate that topic. But yes.
And I've had my own experiences, and one in particular recently, which maybe one day I'll share on the show. But it's really opened my eyes to certain things, and it wasn't like it wasn't that I wasn't aware of. Like we don't know where we go after this, but I've slowly become more aware that there is absolutely something after this. No matter what you believe in.
Sure.
So
I agree 100% with you.
That piece of knowing that there's something after this, that's
I think
that's what I'm getting at.
My biggest fear, and I'll mirror your statement in that I recently reconnected with my faith. I was born and raised Catholic, and that was like the foundational layer, right? And now I'm, I mean, it's going to sound silly, but I'm a Christian. It's going to sound silly to say like born again Christian, whatever it's called nowadays. I don't know if that's still a term or if that's the same thing, but where I'm going with this, we're not going to talk about religion. What we're getting into is that having that faith and having that, like, it's like a door opens, right? And suddenly you can see, like, you're connecting with something else that's not of this world, right? You're connecting with the divine, and you realize you're not alone, and you realize things happen the way they do, and there's a lot of things that I wouldn't say it answers questions that we have as human beings, but it answers it. It at least says, "Don't worry, it's okay. It's okay. It's gonna be okay." And I mirror that, man. I've been a lot happier. Probably since for a couple months, I've been going to service regularly. I've connected with a lot of other, like, I found community, which is the word that I wanted to use. Found community with a community of like-minded people that literally all they care about is loving you. Like, that's literally it. And it's kind of weird sometimes, I'm not going to lie. Yeah. It's just nothing but good feelings, good nature, good intentions, and man, it's amazing. It's amazing. So I would invite anyone out there that does not have any kind of faith to at least, it doesn't care what religion it is, or try praying, try talk, try, try finding it, because I promise you, it will do wonders. And I used to laugh at this stuff.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I used to laugh at this stuff. I thought it was silly to think like, oh, geez. And people are like, oh, just pray on it or this. And I was like, whatever, dude.
I think it's a level of just not understanding.
Yes.
You don't understand. I mean, if you want to get scientific on it, and I know you do.
Well, not tonight, but yes.
But I'm just saying that if you just want to look at the science behind people coming together and praying or wanting or trying to will something, there has been, you can find articles and whatnot on people that have gotten results. Kind of like the family that comes together to pray over a sick person in the family, or even bigger.
Yeah.
You were going to say something?
No, I agree. I'm just agreeing with you that one thing that I noticed is, I would put it this way, for people out there that are scientific and think that God or religion or spirituality is a joke. Fair enough. All right. But I would put it this way. If nothing else, finding that sense of community with people that want to love you and actually care about you. I've already experienced in just a few months, there's been events, like life events, that people that I've connected with were involved with. And I had a chance to be there for those people, man. Mm-hmm. Complete strangers. And I had a chance to kind of step forward and be like, what do you need? How can I help? And that's also happened for other people in the group, man. So it's an incredible feeling to have that selflessness, right? Where people are like, no, I want to help you because you're my brother or you're my sister. You're a fellow human being. So if nothing else, imagine a person goes into it thinking, ha ha ha, I'm never going to believe in God. That's silly. But at least you have that sense of community, and it gives you that solace that you were speaking about.
Hey, Red, have you noticed any changes in your life or different choices that you might have scoffed at before, or maybe that don't sit right with you? Any changes that you've...
Well, I don't know if this is...
It might be soon.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you... Well, no, I'll tell you something that has happened that is and of course, again, people are going to say, well, you kind of talked yourself into it. Okay, fair enough. Sure. I have a beautiful, beautiful dog and a beautiful little Bengal cat. I love them to death. They are my children. For all intents and purposes, they are my children, right? And I would probably go to great lengths to, like, if somebody tried to hurt them, right? Like, they're my kids to me. Yeah, that's what I have. Okay, so, but that being said, man, you know how it is. Life, you get busy, and you tend to dismiss the stuff that isn't the squeaky wheel. You get home and you're like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. And if the dog sits in the corner and doesn't ask me to go out, it's very easy for me to go, I'll think about that later, Mm-hmm. And I had a couple of situations where I lost my patience and I got very upset and yelled at them and, really aggressively, and after I found my faith again, I remember I was walking with one of my pets and I was about to get angry and I literally just followed what people said. They're like, just pray on it. And I was walking and I was in a really bitter, angry mood, and I'd had a long day. I'd had one of those days where you've been in traffic, you've been you had bad interactions at work. You're just angry at the world, man. And there's no one to take it out on except your family, your kids, your whatever, your neighbors, whatever, right? And I literally said, I literally prayed and said, Jesus, just please. And I said, God, just fill me with the Holy Spirit and give me the patience that I need to be the best dad that I can be. In Jesus' name, right? And amen, right? So I prayed. And like that, man, it was like all the anger, frustration, everything, man, it washed away. I can't explain it in words, but it washed over me completely. And I enjoyed the rest of my night with my kids. Like I said, I have a Bengal Cats, for people that don't know, are very energetic, and they like to climb trees and stuff, chase squirrels. It's not it is a house cat, but it's not a house cat, right? It doesn't just happily sit by a window and look out the window for its whole life. So yeah, and for anybody that's not familiar with Bengals, there is an account on Instagram that you should check out. I believe it's Skokie Cat, Suki cat. It's some lady that has a gorgeous Bengal, and she takes them hiking in the mountains and on river cruises and on her kayak. Like, she goes everywhere with her cat, dude. She's one of those people that probably lives in California or Colorado or something like that, and has an amazing life. So anyway, that will give you an idea of what a Bengal is and how they interact with nature. And yeah, man, that was one thing that I noticed. And so because that worked, I do it all the time now. Every time I get angry and I'm about to lash out at someone, coworkers in traffic, I'm just like, give me the patience, like, Lord, just give me the patience, please. I don't want to be angry, but I am, right? Because I'm judging, I'm angry, whatever. So yeah, man, it was a phenomenal experience. And that's why I tell people, like, just try it. Don't knock it till you try it.
I dare you.
Yeah.
Seriously, I think, there's a lot of layers there, and I'm not talking layers like Shrek, man, or maybe I am, but it's like what you said about community.
Yeah.
People don't want to go out of their comfort zone or their comfortable community. And because that would require them to open up about things that they don't want to open up about. And there's just challenges. There's comforts to not. I think it's radical to be a believer these days. It's very easy.
And it's crazy.
It's easy to not be a believer, and I'm speaking from experience. That's the truth.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to be radical, if you want to be cool, if that's what it is.
That's the other thing. The other thing our audience doesn't know about us is that we were both partiers, and in our youth we spent our time in bars and clubs and whatever, and we just we lived the not so good life, I guess. I mean, it was good at the time. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, I would say I have lived a very faithless life probably since my teenage years, but you're right. I think that's true, that people feel uncomfortable. People feel uncomfortable having to, okay, how about this? Like, I'll give you this example, man. I the first few times I went to service, and everyone that goes to service for the first couple times, even now it still happens, but I think most people will agree that you feel like the pastor is speaking directly to you. Like, they will literally say stuff like, if you feel like you've been wearing a blue hat and headphones on your head today, and you're like, what? That's me. Yeah. Like, literally, that's how it feels, right? And so the first couple times that happened, I was blown away, man. I was like, dude, come on, this man. That's weird, right? And I started getting teary-eyed, and I was embarrassed to like cry, because I'm at church, and it's just like a big church. There's a lot of people there, and I'm a tough guy, right? I'm a cool guy, right? So I'm like, I'm not gonna cry, right? So I did one of those where you're just like, oh man, that would have great.
You're like,
I literally did
got something in my eye.
Yeah, I was like, what a coincidence, right? When everyone else got something in their eyes too.
Yeah.
So I kind of hit it, and I was like, Yeah. And then I joined a small group, and we it was just so funny because I'm hearing everyone talk about their experiences, and everybody's like, and our facilitator, she's like, don't feel embarrassed, don't hold back. Everyone here is going through the exact same thing, and everyone is feeling versions of that. You are connecting with the divine. And, getting back to the scientific part, I would simply say this. Consider the fact that we are walking, talking pieces of meat that can have memories. Like, how do you explain that? The fact that this fleshy bit here with electrons and neurons and impulses can be like, hey, I remember what that nasty peanut butter and jelly. Do you remember those peanut butter and jelly wafer things they would give us in school when we were in grammar school?
Mm-mm.
Oh man, dude, it was like
Wafers.
a graham crack. It was like a graham cracker, dude. If you grew up in the public school system, somebody out there has to remember this, I'm sure. I mean, imagine if we struggle with keeping our computers, our laptops organized, all our file folders. How the hell does a human brain do it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're not trying to convince anybody. I'm not trying to convince anybody, man.
You don't have to convince anybody. All you have to do is just tell
sharing
people
my
your
story.
experience. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I came to this realization a few months ago where it finally dawned on me, or it hit me, where it's like we are flesh and bone, and then we have our soul, and that thing that is you can't be tied to flesh and bone. You know, like
that's a great point. I never thought about that. Like
yourself.
Yeah.
You're unique. You're like how you feel unique, or what makes you you. I mean, you're more than a piece of steak.
And that's what I mean. Your life experiences, like all of it, right? Like I don't know. Well, we're probably about the same age, right? You're 30-ish, some years, 40, whatever. Think about that. All of the collection of those experiences that shaped the way you react to things, the way you are, the way you speak, all of that, man. Where is it stored? How? You bring up a really good point, man. I had a dream years ago, probably about 15 years ago, where, and I was not a religious or spiritual person at all back then, like not a chance. But I had this dream, right, where the world was covered in water, and we were like in the last tall skyscraper on Earth. Imagine the movie Waterworld, and all you see is like the top antennas of the skyscraper, and we were in an elevator shaft that was flooded, probably on the 90th floor, and there's like 90 floors of nothing underneath. It's just pure water, right? And I kid you not, Andy, I'm not making this up. I mean, but again, it's just a dream. Beautiful dream, though. We're in the elevator shaft with about 6 or 7 people. It's me and my brother. My brother's in there with me. And everyone else is dead. We're like the last, as far as we know, we're the last people on Earth. The whole world is literally flooded. It is a water world now. And God is like in the periphery, right? Like you can't really see him, but you can see him. And he's kind of like, all right, guys, this is it. You gotta like let yourself like die, And I'm like, this isn't right. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, and God's like, well, it's like this has to happen for the next thing to take place. Like, this is a piece of the puzzle that has to take place. All right.
Yeah.
So I remember I look at my brother and I said, man, I love you. And I hugged him. And I remember seeing my brother allowing himself to just die. He like choked on the water, and I saw him like convulsing underwater and all of this stuff.
Jeez.
And then the other people followed, right? And so I'm like the last one, man. And I'm like, okay. And God's like, don't worry, it's gonna be, just do what you got to do, and And I started to let myself drown, and who I am, the essence of me, started to fade out. And I remember like, whoa, my memories are disappearing. What's happening? I was like, and I remember like going back to the surface and like choking and like coughing and going like, what are you doing? I said, you can't take me from me. Like, I don't want to die and go on to the next place without me being myself. Like, I want to remember things. I want to remember the people I loved. I want to remember the things I did. I want to know who I am. And God literally said to me in that moment, he said, that's not how this works. Like, once it's done, it's done. You go on to the next, like whatever the next step is, but you just got to go with the flow. Right. And I allowed myself to drown. And I remember waking up. I woke up in a stream. I was like, my face was in in a like a little babbling brook, and I remember there was like all this mist, and I woke up, and I was like a blank slate. I had no idea who I was. I didn't know anything about me. I was just like an existing being, right? And I bring up that story. To me, it was a beautiful dream, even though it seems dark, but it was a beautiful dream because I had a chance to explore that topic internally, like after the fact. I was like, oh my God, there is a soul. There is a soul. There has to be. There is a soul. Because, and maybe God sends us on these weird missions or something, and whatever, man, who knows, right? Like, but where you're kind of like reborn, because when you're born, you don't remember if you lived before. And I don't believe in reincarnation, by the way, for the record. I don't think that makes sense to me, but let's assume. It was an interesting topic. So yeah, I do believe that you have some kind of thing inside of you, your energy, your collection of energy, whatever you want to call it. Well, I call it a soul, but again, we're speaking to an audience that may not resonate with a Christian God, right? I do believe in that. Yeah, absolutely. And I do believe it makes you you. What do you
love
think?
it, man. That's great. No, I have old I have strange memories,
Are you getting teary-eyed on me?
No, man, No, man. No. My contacts
Like that dream wasn't that sad.
I know. We are recording this late, so my contacts, and I've been editing all day.
Yeah.
So,
man.
Yeah, I had I can't equip. This is years ago. I've told this to my wife before, and I've never made this public. But there was I've had this vision years and years ago of being myself before being born, and looking down,
like the essence of you of Andy.
Yeah,
before...
it sounds so weird.
Yeah,
but like knowing, almost like looking down on where I'm going, and
wow,
and seeing green grass and bushes on the side, but everything else around it was dark, but knowing that I am me and that's there.
Right.
And I can't bring myself to know where that memory has come from, and it just feels more like another time.
Like someone inserted a memory in there?
Yeah, it's weird.
That never happened?
Yeah, and so I even have, a memory as a child being around 2 years old, being on a swing, and then my cousins pushing me, and then this is real, and them going back into the house. This is back in one of the houses in Chicago, and this like sitting on a swing and just like thinking to myself, I want to go back inside with my family. Like I want to get out of here. But the reason that comes up and why I was able to put that together was because of the movie Look Who's Talking.
I haven't seen that in years. Okay, I don't remember the scenes, man. I saw that when I was young, like
with
really
Bruce
young,
Willis.
So yeah. John Travolta, I think, is also
John Travolta.
In it,
yeah,
it's like 3 dudes, right, or something.
Well, you're thinking
Bruce. No, Bruce Willis is the baby. Yes, Bruce Willis is like the baby's voice, but there's 2 baby. In the first one, there's only 1 baby, I think.
Yes.
And Kirstie Alley's like the mom, I think.
Yes, Kirstie Alley is pregnant with Bruce Willis.
Right, and then in the second one, that's when they add like a brother, or like a annoying brother or sister or something. But I don't remember. Yeah, okay.
But anyways, like when that came out, I remember I was a kid, and it made complete sense to me because I said, "Oh yeah, I had that experience myself, having an internal voice, dialoguing before I knew how to speak English." So, and if you take a step back before that, just think about that. Not knowing how it's like what your desires are and who you are and what you want as a child. Imagine before you're born. What is that? So I just kind of wonder the progression, and We went off on a tangent here.
Right. No, you just mentioned a really good thing, though, man. Yeah, I know we totally got into spirituality and all this stuff, but it's okay. I don't care. It's fine. Like, it is what it is, man. We're just talking about stuff, right? No, you brought up a really good thing, and I've often wondered this because, if you have pets, there's clearly a being in there, right? They look at you, they smile at you, they play with you, like, and yeah, you can scientifically say it's all instinctual and everything, but it makes you wonder, how do they perceive their thoughts, and how does a baby perceive its thoughts if it doesn't have any language to have the thoughts? Like, let me ask the question this way. When you think, viewers, do you speak it in your mind? Is there a spoken thought? Like, oh, I think I want to go grab some food. Like, does that take place? If so, what does that look like for a baby that's 3 months old or 6 months old or 12 months, whatever? They still don't really have the words. What does that look like? Mm-hmm. What is that thought, that impulse, that reflex, right? Or instinct or whatever. So yeah, it's another thing, man, that I never thought about that. But I see it in my pets. I'm like, man, sometimes they look like, my dog, she, sometimes I'm in a hurry, man, and I just don't have time to give her a nice long walk. We like to do 3-4 mile walks, sometimes in the morning. But there's days where I'm rushing and I'm like, I can't. There's no time. And I take her out, dude, and she gives me this look like, in the arms of the angel. Like, really? She literally stops walking and she just like, from this dark cold. And I'm like, damn. I'm like, how? You're an animal, right? So anyway, man. But yeah. But hey, you know what? Eventually we have to have a conversation about faith on this podcast anyway. And who cares, when it happens, right? I'm excited to share my faith with viewers. And for anybody out there and again, we're not pushing our faith on anyone. We're not telling you to go and be faithful, but we're just saying, try it out. If you ever feel like you are in a tough spot, just try it out. Just talk to whoever you think is up there, even if it's a different, it's Islam or Judaism or any other religion. Trust me, it'll work. It'll work. So yeah, that's that. That's our, religion. I guess
we touched. Yeah, there's so much more we can dive in.
Yeah.
Dive into.
Oh, this should be like a couple of, we should do a couple of episodes on this at different times. Definitely. Yeah. And actually, I'd like to, at some point, I definitely would love for my small group or my church to see at least this episode. So I think I'm gonna share it with them and see what happens.
They're gonna give you some critiques, probably, right?
They're going to be like, I have no idea what I just watched or what nonsense you guys were rambling about. I was going to tell you something, man. I had an experience, I wouldn't call it a spiritual experience, but I did have an experience. When we were little, we lived in Melrose Park. And we were like 6 years old, 5-6 years old, and we were playing on one of the streets, whatever, a residential street. Back in those days, kids did this crazy thing called playing outside together. Okay.
Yeah.
So the whole block on a summer day, for all you younger viewers out there, an entire entire street was like filled with little kids running back and forth, baseballs, basketballs, whatever, like all sorts of fun games. And this giant thing, I kid you not, man, I'm not making this up. To this day, I'm like, what did we see? Mm-hmm. This giant bat-like thing flew, but it was like giant, man, like a giant manta ray in the sky, or a bat or something, like a giant thing flying through, just flying over the houses, man, like going somewhere. But it was big enough that the entire street cleared. And all the kids scattered, like when you see roaches scatter, or ants or insects, it was just right. Everybody ran home. And I remember running upstairs, and my mom and my aunts and my grandma, they were all watching like a soap opera, which is a very Latino thing to do. So I ran up and I was like, oh my God, this thing just happened, whatever. And they were like, yeah, okay, great. I was like, no, look outside. Nobody's out there anymore. Like, please. And that's it. Whatever. Nobody cared. Nobody looked. I was too young to know what to do after that. So I just went on with my life. About 4 years ago, man, 3-4 years ago, I was telling my cousin and his girlfriend this story, and we ended up Googling it, and we found like an old article from some old, like, Melrose Park or Bensonville or Franklin Park, like that area, we found an old thing that talked about what this thing might be. And then we got on the topic of like the Mothman and all this. But the fact that this thing made some kind of local news, right? And I'm telling you, man, this thing, like, it was scary, man. It was like a giant stingray in the sky. I don't know.
Stingray?
Yeah, like a giant, I don't know, man. I don't know what it was. Like the wingspan was nuts. It was terrifying, man. So, yeah, one of these days. So if you're a viewer, all right, or for you viewers, I'm sorry. Of course, sir. So for you viewers out there, I know this story sounds insane. I think it's insane, but the fact that we found an article discussing it, and now I haven't found the article again because this was about. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
BS.
Nope. The Chicago Mothman.
No, I don't think that's the right one. But show me. Do you want to? Well, you can. You don't have to share it. Send it to me if you want to share it.
Yeah, why not? Right?
No, but check if there was.
It says all the way back to 1966.
But does it say anything about that area, those suburbs?
It says, for about a decade, Chicago has been standing for fictional Gotham City, thanks to Christopher Nolan's Batman films. So it makes certain sense. It makes a certain amount of sense that reports of a winged bat-like creature around the city, even the suburbs, would pop up.
We all saw it. So the evidence, like the story I'm sharing, is like, sorry.
No, it's okay. The most famous so-called Mothman sighting happened in 1966 in Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
Yeah.
But sticklers who told the Chicago Reader encountered Mothman in Pennsylvania, Lake Michigan area.
What do you think that is? I mean, I don't think it looked like the Mothman. It didn't look like any Mothman.
It looks like a stingray.
Here, can you share it? Okay, share. Yeah, I have to see this thing. Oh my God, is that what we saw? Yeah. Oh my God, there's a video. Oh, dude, I'm getting chills. Wait, is this a picture of the Chicago Mothman? Why is it a picture? Similar sightings. Melrose Park, August 4th.
There you
go. Go down. Dude, are you kidding me? Is this real?
Yep.
Oh my God.
River Forest.
Listen, anybody that watches this, if you're old enough to remember this or have seen anything like this would have happened for me. It would have happened back in like 1980-ish, okay? Like the Michael Jackson, Madonna culture club, whatever, like the before MTV even existed. You know what I mean? Like, dude, that's it. What in the hell?
So this is 2017. So it looks like this is kind of an ongoing thing.
Yeah, but this thing was massive, man. It was like half the size of a house. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was massive enough that all the kids scattered. Like, explain that to me. Whatever we saw, man, like all these kids. Wow, dude.
Yes, look at it right there.
That's pretty big. Oh my God, dude, I'm getting chills. I didn't expect this. I told you it looked like a stingray, right? Well, that's tiny, but yeah.
They're just showing comparison.
Yeah, dude, that's exactly what I saw, man.
We got to get the Mothman expert on now.
Was I meant to share this with you tonight? I mean, the chances of you finding it.
Winged
the fact
freak.
that it even says Oh my God.
There's 29 sightings, they're saying.
What in the name of God is this thing, man? It can't be like a wild creature. I'm sure by now it would have died, or they would have caught it, or they would have been like, oh yeah, it's this species of this. Like, well
it's the soft spots, man. Remember we've talked about this? It explains a lot. Where there's people believe that there are other dimensions other than ours.
Right.
One of those would be the spiritual realm, which Christians believe, and there are parts kind of like Skinwalker Ranch and other parts of the world where there's more sightings, and they're considered soft spots within where there's like portals where things can kind of pop in and then disappear, you know. But there's enough of these sightings where we're like, well, where there's smoke, there's fire. You know, you see enough of these, it's like, well, what is it? It's a thing. And where did it go?
Right? It just...
So...
Like, you would have thought you would have heard sirens or, you know, but yeah, it was a crazy, crazy experience. Well, I hope someday someone watches this video.
Man, we might find out something after this. You know that's going to end up in the artwork now. Got to put Mothman in the thumbnail.
That just blows my mind, man. Like, I'm going to not get any sleep tonight.
You're gonna be looking up Mothman. Don't do that.
A part of me will honestly admit that I always kind of hoped that I just imagined it, or maybe because I was a little kid, I thought it was bigger than it really was. Or that maybe it was like an eagle or a hawk, but no, this thing wasn't like fast flying, man. It was like just like
gliding,
just like gliding. Yeah. Oh, dude, it was terrifying, man. I would do anything to go back in time just to see my little version, like to see that thing and see that event from an outsider's perspective.
So there is another.
At least now I know I'm not crazy.
Well, it's a reoccurrence. Like, this is something that happened. Like I said, I'm seeing a bunch of articles in 2017 about this.
So that's when there's people have like cell phone cameras, people have ways of actually documenting it.
Yeah, in 2021, a woman reports sighting of a large black creature gliding over.
I'm like literally getting chills, guys. Like, I'm not...
Chicago suburbs.
Oh, man, now I gotta know. Now I'm gonna be that crazy guy that you're gonna meet me like when I'm 80, and I'm gonna be out there like, the Mothman's up there. The Mothman's up there, and I'm gonna be like scribbling stuff. And wow, dude, send me these links, man, after we're done with our chat. Yeah?
Yeah.
Good God, man. This is nuts. This is nuts.
It's the
it did not look like that.
The Melrose Park Chupacabra.
Go down. I just want to clarify. The one on the right here did not look like that.
Okay.
Nope. It wasn't that. It was like the other one you showed me, like a stingray, manta ray, like, you know, potentially could have been that, but I don't remember seeing any legs, man. There was no legs to this Mothman. At least not that I remember, but I was like 6 years old. Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah.
Kittyland. I remember that amusement park. Oh my God, on North Avenue.
Mega Control, Melrose Park. So we both have ties to Melrose.
So for the viewers, for viewers that are not familiar, Melrose Park is a suburb that is like southwest of Chicago.
It's just east
a lot of
city,
Italian.
Though. Yeah.
Italian and Latin Americans, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Or Mexican, Italian, that was my youth. I grew up there until we moved to the city, and man. I don't know why I brought up that story right now. We're talking about spiritual things. There was something that triggered me to tell you that story.
We just kind of were going back on spiritual events. You had a dream, and then
wow, what a weird night. I didn't expect this outcome.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna be like,
that's good.
Googling stuff in bed, doom scrolling the Mothman. I'm gonna become that crazy conspiracy theorist, man. They're gonna be like, is he a conservative? Yeah. Christian? Yep. That makes sense.
Well,
it
starts turning into not being a conspiracy when there's enough evidence of a thing out there. It's not a conspiracy anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
yeah, of course. If enough people see it, and and I've often thought that about like werewolves and vampires and things like that. Like when I was growing up, I always thought, like, man, if so many different people saw things that were similar in just like and from a description standpoint, right? Like you had people in Latin American places or Asian places or whatever that would define what they thought was a vampire or what they thought was a shapeshifter. And they all define the same things. They all say the same things, but they never met. They're on different continents, and there's no telephones, and there's no. So yeah, there's stuff like that. But I've always, for our viewers, man, I don't think they realize like how scientific I am. Like if I cannot explain things from a nature standpoint, like how would that exist? How would it feed? Where would it sleep without getting killed or poached, et cetera, et cetera? Like there's a lot of things where I'm like, nah, it's not real. I imagined it. But no, wow. Eye-opening night, for sure. Do you have a story like that? Have you ever seen any wacky thing that you were like, what the heck just happened to me?
No. The vast majority of my experiences have been just sensing something. I'll give you one in particular that I had to think about it, but my wife and I were going to Knoxville to visit. We got an Airbnb at this place, and we're like, oh man, it's a great deal. It was a huge house, and it was really inexpensive. That should have been a tip-off. Get there, I usually just go in and check out the place because, you should go in.
You never know.
Check it out.
Yeah. Well,
so I go in. I go in. I walk around. And it's huge, and there's like a few kids' rooms upstairs with like kid beds in there. There's
I don't know why I'm getting chills right now. I know it's not a scary story, but
I mean, they had right when you walked in, the people that were renting it out left their family photos from the 1920s easily, all on the wall. So tons of black and white. Well, it was like, here's our family tree, and they still live here. Okay.
Dude, I'm not gonna be able to get sleep now.
But so
shoot.
I go in there, I walk around, and it's like people live here still, and there's if you never knew. I know it's Airbnb, right? If you never knew, you would think someone had just locked the door and walked out, and they were going to be right back, kind of like that.
Right.
So it wasn't Airbnb in the sense of it was super clean and everything was tidy, and someone preps it.
It was more like, hey, I'll let you borrow my house for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna step out, and you do you, but I'll be right back.
Yeah, so it's like the bathroom had carpet in it. It was like really old, like 80s. Anyways, I walked in. I was like, okay, it's clear. I go back out and I talk to my wife. She's like, what do you think? And I was like, yeah, it's nice. It's kind of strange in there though. And she's like, okay. So we all go in there. I turn on a TV so my kid can watch, and my wife walks around the whole place. And when I say walk around, like it's huge. I mean, this is probably like a 6-bedroom house, so multiple bathrooms. My son's watching TV. I'm sitting at the kitchen table, and I just I got to a point. I'm like, I feel like we're not wanted here. And she's like, I feel the same thing. And
dude,
she's like,
we gotta chills again. Stop it.
We gotta get out of here. So I was like, I couldn't get out of there fast enough at the end.
So wait, did you like stay on because you already paid, or did you say, you know what, let's just lose the money?
I was willing to lose the money at that point.
And you guys left.
Yes.
Wow, man, that's an incredible story.
And it was probably 6 or 7 o'clock at night. So we didn't have a place to stay. We were in a town we hadn't been in. So it wasn't like we had an option. So all I know is like I would rather sleep in our car than sleep in there.
Wow, dude, that's crazy. That's really, really a crazy.
We've tried to look up this house again to show people, and we can't find it, man.
All right.
I don't know.
Can you imagine if it didn't exist?
Oh gosh, that was, yeah, and it was just so bizarre, man. Like it was one of those like, wow, this is nice. You had a drive-in,
like a
driveway, yeah,
like the really nice driveway.
The leaves are everywhere, and it just kind of like a haunted house, man.
What if it's the kind of place people check in, but they never check in?
Yeah, we looked at the reviews, and people were like, "Oh, we loved it there. It was great for our big family." And I guess if it's
a lot of people, that's different.
Maybe,
yeah,
but yeah.
One of these days, viewers, we'll have to...
this wasn't supposed to be a spooky show.
Yeah, it got a little spooky, but one of these days, Andy and I do want to have some really good stories to share. And just generally, and if you people out there have stories to share as well, we'd love to hear it. Post it in your comments. Let us know the craziest things that have happened to you, and we would love to kind of chat about some of those. We'll bring them up on the next episode where we discuss supernatural things. Yeah. Because not everybody, but a lot of people have seen crazy things, man, have witnessed crazy things or experienced insane things, man. So, wow. I know it's getting late for you over there, my friend. And, I know you gotta check in on your kids, but yeah. I wanted to share a quick story with you, man. I wanted to leave on a good note. Speaking about Chicago suburbs and all that, this is a place in Skokie. I just heard about this on the news on WBBM News Radio, or actually 105.9. That's one I listen to on the way to work sometimes. It's called Will's Place. Will's Place carves out a space for adults with disabilities in Skokie. So it's a place run by... I have to research it a little bit more, but my understanding is it's a family that has fostered or adopted disabled kids as well as maybe some of their own. And basically they work there, and the restaurant serves people with disabled kids as well. Nice. So for you people out there that might have, you have kids that, sometimes, especially like I have friends that have kids that are autistic and they struggle with going places. Like it says here, our main goal is to create a safe space for both real work for adults with disabilities as well as a safe place for people who have disabilities. I think that's amazing. So give this place a if you're in the Chicagoland area, give this place a look. Will's Place, Skokie, and maybe one of these days, Andy, we can. Just depending on how things go, man, maybe we can, have them on and just talk about their restaurant a little bit.
You said it's Will's Place?
Yeah, Will's Place in Skokie, Illinois.
I'm kind of curious to know if they have an Instagram. I would imagine they do.
Probably. It sounds like it's a relatively newer place.
Okay.
But yeah, viewers, we want to hear your comments. Please let us know what crazy supernatural things have happened to you, and if we find a really good story or good things, or even a faith story, if you want to share your faith story, why not? Let's do it. We want to cover everything on this podcast, so everything that's interesting to us and our viewers, obviously. Andy, it's been a pleasure chatting with you tonight, my friend. Thank you for taking the time. We're both super busy people, and I know it wasn't easy for us to schedule this tonight, but man, I'm having a blast, and man, you spooked the hell out of me. I'm sleeping with all the lights on tonight. I'll be praying like crazy. It's gonna be an interesting night, man. But good talking to you, man. And to our viewers out there, wait, do you hear that? That's the sound of our viewers not subscribing or liking this video.
Come on, guys.
What's going on, guys? The silence is deafening. You gotta hit that little subscribe button. Come on, go ahead. You know you want to. Just click it. Thanks for joining us, guys. We had a great time tonight. And Andy, been a pleasure as always,
Thanks,
my friend.
man.
I'll see you for the next recording, sir.
All right. Take care, man.
Clinton's private email server appears to have